Hello everyone, welcome back to Genius Knowledge Point, your one place for practical programming solutions for computer and IT students. I am making this video to provide practical knowledge to all students so that you can develop your own programs which will be helpful for your studies as well as career. In this video we will see practical number 11 of Java programming, which is according to Diploma Computer and IT case scheme and semester 4th, and the topic in this video we are going to cover is multithreading. So even if you are not a diploma student, you can follow this video and understand the concept of threads and how to create threads, then how to use multithreading concept. So before going to the multithreading concept, we have to understand what is thread. So thread is a lightweight process or any process that we do inside our program which has a beginning, it has some functionality, some body, and it has ending. That can be considered as a thread. So whenever we are developing any program that we have done till now, so all these programs are considered as threads, but they are single thread because we are doing some single functionality in those programs. We are not doing multithreading or multitasking is not done there, so that's why they are called single threaded programs. But what we are going to do in multithreading, we are going to do multitasking in our programs. So that concept will be covered here. And why multitasking is needed? Because we have to utilize processor time plus we have to do some tasks simultaneously inside our project or inside any application. So in that case we have to do multithreading there. So to understand multithreading, we will see one example. Suppose we are developing a chatting application. So in the chatting application, what we have to develop? We have to develop two programs. First part is sending of the program, sending code will be there, and second program will be having receiving code. So whenever we are running that application which is regarding chatting, so in that case we have to run these programs simultaneously because sending and receiving task is done simultaneously in chatting application. Whenever you are sending messages, at the same time you want to receive the messages which are given by your sender or the other party. So that's why we need multitasking here. So this is the example of multitasking. We have to run this program simultaneously, or the code inside this sending.java or receiving.java, we have to run those codes simultaneously so that we can have a real chatting application in our project. So that's why the multitasking is needed, and it is not possible using single threaded programs because whenever we are running this sending.java, it will just send a message that we have entered, but it will not receive the code, it will not receive the message which is given by your sender. So that's why these two programs need to be run simultaneously, and in that case we have to use threads. Then only it is possible to generate such an application. So this is one example of multithreading. So to understand the thread, we have to go to the diagram. So what is thread? As I have said earlier, thread is a lightweight process which has some beginning, it has some functionality, that is body, and it has end. So I am considering this thread A as one thread, thread B as second thread, and thread C as third thread. So I have created three threads which is having some functionality, and according to your need you can switch between these threads. So I can switch from thread A to thread B. That means I can switch whenever the thread A is running, I can switch in between to thread B and similarly to thread C. So this is called context switching. So that is possible inside our multithreading. So what it will do, we can run some lines of code inside thread A, then we will switch to B thread, we will run some lines of code inside thread B, then again we will switch to thread C, we will run some codes of lines here there, then again we will switch to thread A or thread B. So this is how multitasking is achieved inside our Java program. We are switching our control of program or control of lines to another thread while running that thread program. So that this is how the multitasking will be achieved, and we will have multi-threading here. So these are called separate threads, that is thread A, thread B, then thread C, and the controlling thread that we have to generate is main thread. So whenever we are creating our single program, we are creating just main thread. this thread A, thread B and thread C are not created till now, but now we will create those threads. But till now we have created just main thread, and that is called our main class. So whenever you are creating main function inside any class, that is called main thread, because that thread is the main part that will run your program. The execution of your program will start from main function. That's why it is called main thread, and the other threads are just called using those main thread. So this is how the diagram of threading will be. So we will be generating multiple threads inside our single program. Then we will generate main thread, that is our main function, and using that function what we will do, we will just call those multiple threads. Now let us see practical related questions under this multi-threading programs. The first question is, develop a simple real life application program to illustrate the use of multi-threads. So what we have to do, we have to create multiple threads in our single program, and the class definition and what we have to do inside our program is not given, so that we have to decide. So let us move to the code and see there how to create a thread first. So this is the program for multi-threading. So initially I am creating one class thread A. So this is the class definition, and as I want to create a thread, so for that purpose I have to use inheritance. So what I will do, class thread A extends thread. So this is how you can create a thread using a thread class. So you are going to use inheritance here. We are inheriting thread class which is already present inside our Java system, which is present inside our lang package. So that's why I am not importing it, because lang package is by default present in every Java program. So there are two methods of creating thread. One method is by extending thread class, and another method is by implementing runnable interface. But here I am using extending thread class method. So I am creating thread A here by extending thread class, which is already present in our lang package and it is already present in our program. So we don't have to import that. So while creating thread, we have used inheritance. So automatically the properties of thread class which is present inside our Java system are inherited inside this thread A class. So automatically this thread A class will become a thread. So inside thread class we have a method that is public void run, which is inside our thread class, which is from Java system, but we are overriding it because we have to run our coding inside this thread A class. So that's why I am overriding this method which is inherited from thread class. So public void run, then inside that I am creating a for loop for int I is equal to 1, I is less than is equal to 10, I plus plus. So this is the for loop that will run for iteration from 1 to 10, and I am just printing the message thread A colon and attaching I number. So it will display me thread A inside our message, and it will display the number which is value of I. Then I am closing the for loop and closing run method. So what this thread A is doing, it is just printing numbers from 1 to 10 and it is printing thread A message. So we will understand that which thread is executing, because in this program we are going to do multitasking. So we are going to switch between thread A and this thread B. So we cannot understand which thread is running currently. So that's why we have printed thread A, so we can understand which thread is running. So similarly I am creating one more class, that is one more thread, class thread B extends thread. So again I am extending thread class into thread B class, so it will become thread B as a thread, and inside it I am again doing the same part, that is I am overriding public void run method. So the run method, inside run method again I am doing for loop. So this time I am using this for loop as I is equal to 10 and I is greater than is equal to 1, I minus minus. So I am printing the numbers from 10 to 1 this time, and in thread A I am printing numbers from 1 to 10. So this is how the thread B will be, and then the for loop is complete and run method is also closed and thread B is also completed. Now I am starting my main class, that is class main thread. So this is the main class and it is also called as a main thread because it is having main function. So every program that is having main function can be considered as main thread. So this is the main thread, and in that I am taking main function public static void main string args, creating an object of thread A, that is thread A is equal to new thread A, then creating one object of thread B class, thread B is equal to new thread B. So this is how we have created one object of each thread that we have created earlier, and after that I am calling the start method. So where the start method comes, this method is present inside our thread class which is taken from the system. So I am just calling start method of A object, that is thread A class object, and I am calling the start method on B object which is of thread B class. So this is how we are starting both the threads. So what this start method does, if you see the diagram, it will start the threads simultaneously. So the thread A and thread B will be running simultaneously, and what is done inside those threads, we have printed numbers from 1 to 10 in thread A and 10 to 1 in thread B. So the output will be, we will see some numbers from 1 to 10 from thread A, then again we will switch to thread B, we will see numbers from 10 to 1 from thread B, and the switching will happen continuously till both the for loops are ended, and finally we will return to main thread, and the main thread is our main program that will end and our class is ended. So this is how the process or sequence of this thread will be. We always start execution from main thread, then we will start thread A and thread B objects, they will run their start methods, they will start simultaneously, they will execute their code by switching in between, and finally again we will return to main function, that is our main thread, and it will end it. So this is how the process will be for multi-threading. So I am just saving this program, then going to the location where my program is. So this is the location where my program is. So to run this program I am opening CMD here. So CMD, then first command is java c and the name of our program, that is main thread. So main thread dot java, so java c main thread dot java. So there is no error, that means program is compiled successfully, and after compiling it has automatically created classes for thread A class, thread B class and main thread class. So 3 classes are created as I have explained in previous practical. So whatever the number of classes you are taking in your program, those number of classes are automatically created after compiling your program. So all the classes are created. So now I am just running the program. So java space main thread without any extension. So if you see, the output is generated, it has started from thread A. So thread A 1 is printed, then it has automatically switched to thread B in between. While running our for loop, it has switched to thread B, it has printed 10, then again it has printed 9 and it has printed 8. So 3 numbers are printed from thread B, then again it has switched to thread A, 3 numbers are printed from thread A, again it has switched to thread B, and so on. It has printed all the numbers while switching in between those 2 threads. So you will see mixing of 2 threads here. You will see some output of thread A, some output of thread B, and those outputs are mixed here. So this is how multitasking is achieved here. We are running some part of thread A, then we are switching to thread B, again we are running some part of thread B, again we are switching to thread A, and this process continues till both the threads are ended, and finally our main thread is ended, that is ending of main function and main class. So this is how we have covered the concept of multi-threading here, which is similar to multitasking. We have achieved multiple outputs here and we have done it using multitasking. It looks like both the tasks are running simultaneously, both the threads are running simultaneously by switching in between. So this is how we have done multi-threading, and the concept of multi-threading is done in this first question, and this question is complete here. Now the second question is implement multi-threading to perform simultaneous processes. So the question number 2 is almost similar to question number 1, which is having the same concept of multi-threads, and again we have to use multi-threading and we have to perform simultaneous process that we have already covered in question number 1. So I am not doing program for this second question. So I am skipping this because almost same program can be done here. You just change the for loop, or you can change the numbers that we are printing into the first question, that will become the answer of second question. So moving toward the third question now, create 3 threads and run these threads according to set priority. So we have to create 3 threads here. So in the first question we have created 2 threads only, so 3 threads will be created here, but additionally we have to use the priority function. So before that we have to understand why priority is needed. So if you see the previous diagram, in this diagram what we are doing, we are creating multiple threads inside our main program, and while running these threads, what will happen, the processor will switch from thread A to thread B, then it will switch from thread B to thread C, but the execution time for these threads is not decided. It is taken as the normal time, which is by default given to every thread. So here if I want to run thread A for more time, so there is no mechanism available here, because it is decided by the processor. So the processor will decide which thread to execute at that time. So if I want to run particular thread for more time, so I want to run thread A output or thread A coding for more time, it is not decided here. So that's why we have provided priority function. So set priority is deciding which thread to give some priority. There are multiple priority values available, so that we will see in set priority. So for that we will see this diagram. So in this diagram, this is how the execution of threads happen. So if you have multiple threads available inside your program, that is A, B, C, D and E, and if E is the current thread that is running or that is given the processor time, that means the output of E is running currently. But whenever the processor is switching, what will happen, E will go to this queue. This queue is called thread queue, and it is also called runnable threads, because these are the runnable threads are the threads which are ready for execution, but they are not executing at that time. So that queue is maintained in our computer, and those threads are maintained inside this queue. So automatically the E thread that will go to the behind or the last position of the queue, and the remaining queue threads will be shifted to next position. So this is how the threading happens. But what if I want to run this particular thread for more time? So suppose I want to run this A thread for more time, it is not possible in this normal method. So that's why we have to set priority for particular thread. So what it will do, the processor will give more time for thread A, and it will execute again and again. So it will come in front of the queue again and again, and it will have more time of the processor, so it will execute for more time. The output of thread A will be more time if you are setting priority or higher priority to thread A. So similarly we have lower priority and normal priority. So these are the 3 values which are available for priority. Highest priority is available, that is maximum priority. Normal priority is available, that is by default available for every thread, and minimum priority is available, that is having minimum priority value. So this is how the threads can be given some priority, and according to their priority value they can have processor time and they can execute for more time or less time. So that's why priority is needed in case whenever we want to run particular thread for more time. So moving toward the question again, so we have to create 3 threads and we have to set priority for those threads. So now moving toward the question, so as we have seen in the previous example, we have created 2 threads. So here we will be creating 3 threads. So I am creating thread A, which is again extending thread class that we have seen in previous example. So class thread A extends thread, that means thread A will become a thread and it will inherit properties of thread. So it will inherit start method, run method, whatever the methods are available in your life cycle of thread, that will be taken or inherited into thread A class. So now I am overriding the run method. So in that I am creating for loop again. So for int I is equal to 1, I is less than is equal to 10, I plus plus. So this is the for loop. I am printing numbers from 1 to 10 and I am writing the println statement and printing thread A and attaching I variable. So thread A will print 1 to 10 numbers, then closing for loop, closing the run function and closing thread A class. Next again I am creating one more class. So class thread B extends thread. So again it will create a thread, it will inherit the properties of thread. Again I am creating run method inside that, and I am printing 11 to 20 numbers here. So the for loop will be int I is equal to 11, I less than is equal to 20, I plus plus. So I am printing 11 to 20 numbers inside thread B. So again I am printing the same thread B and attaching I variable. So the for loop is closed, run function is closed, and class is also completed. And creating third class as a class thread C extends thread. Again I am doing the same thing. In this thread I am printing numbers from 21 to 30. So the 21 to 30 numbers will be printed in front of thread C message. So this is how we have created 3 threads, and each thread we are printing different numbers, but we have not assigned any priority here. That will be done in our main program, that is main function. So I am creating main class now. So class priority demo. So this is the main class name which is having main function, and the file name should be saved with this name.java extension. So this is how the file will be saved. Then creating main function. Inside main function I am creating objects of each classes that we have created earlier. So thread A is equal to new thread, thread B is equal to new thread B, then thread C is equal to new thread C. So I have created objects of each classes A, B and C respectively. Then I am using setPriority method on A object. So A dot set priority, and how to set priority? We have a constant inside our thread class, that is thread dot max priority. So what it will do? It will assign maximum priority to class thread A variable, that is thread A object. So A object will have maximum priority, so processor will give this object or this thread more processing time. So it will be running again and again. Then I am setting setPriority method again for B object, and I am setting value as thread dot mean priority. So this is the second value, that is minimum priority value will be set to object B. So it will have less processor time, it will run very slowly while running inside our program. So the two values are assigned, and the remaining value we have not assigned, but by default it will be assigned to thread C object. It is thread dot norm priority, norm underscore priority, that is normal priority that we have seen in our diagram. So whenever we are not setting any priority, it is taken according to normal priority, and they will be executed according to first in first come first serve function. So next I am just starting all the 3 threads, that is A dot start, B dot start and C dot start. So all the 3 threads will be started here, and they will execute according to their priority. So this is how the main function is complete, and our main class is also complete. So I am just saving this code, then going to the location where my file is. The priority demo is the file name. Then to run this program I am opening cmd. Then first command is java c space, I have to copy the class name. So this is the class name priority demo, just pasting this class name and attaching .java extension. So after compiling there is no error, that means program is successfully compiled. Then writing java space class name only. So if you see, the output is generated, thread A is initially given more time, already thread A is printing 1 2 3 4 5 6 numbers. Then thread C has given normal priority because it is having normal priority. Then thread B has printed its numbers. So according to our priority values, thread A has more priority, so it is executing initially. Then we have shifted to thread C, the processor has shifted to thread C and it has printed the numbers of thread C. Then it has started printing numbers from thread B because it is having minimum priority. Then again it has started switching between thread A, B, C, and finally all the numbers are printed according to their values. So this is how we have set maximum priority to thread A, that's why it is printing more numbers. Then we have set minimum priority to thread B, so it is started after thread C, and thread C is having normal priority, so it will be executed according to normal priority values. So this is how we can assign priority value to particular thread. If you want to run any thread again and again, then in that case what you have to do, you have to assign that thread maximum priority, so automatically the processor will take the thread again and again, and it will have more processing time, it will run maximum lines of code, then it will give switching to another threads. So this is how we have completed the multi-threading concept. We have created multiple threads, we have executed those threads simultaneously, we have seen the output of mixing of multiple threads in one by one manner, and again we have seen the priority values also. So this is how this practical number 11 is completed. So that's it for today's practical. I hope you understand the program clearly. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel for more such programming solutions, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a new video. If you have any doubts or need solutions for other programs, drop a comment below. I will be happy to help. Thanks for watching and happy coding.